You know, every now and then in sports, a performance comes along that is so ridiculously dominant, it just shatters what we think is possible. We're seeing one of those right now in baseball, and honestly, my brain is still trying to make sense of the numbers.
So let's start with this number, 79.2%. What in the world could a statistic this extreme even be in Major League Baseball? It's not a win percentage, it's not an on-base percentage, nope, it's something way, way crazier.
That's right. That is the percentage of batters the Oakland A's closer Mason Miller has been striking out, nearly 80%. I mean, this is so far beyond elite, it's hard to even find a word for it. The absolute best strikeout pitchers might hit 40, maybe 50% during a hot streak. This is just on another planet.
Okay, let's put that in a real game context. For a dominant relief pitcher, a great inning might be facing 4 guys and striking out 2 of them. That's fantastic. But Mason Miller, on average, is facing 4 batters and striking out 3 of them. That's a pace that almost breaks the logic of the game itself.
So that's the big question, right? How does a pitcher do something that decades of baseball history tell us shouldn't be possible? Well, let's dig in and break down the mechanics behind this absolute anomaly.
It really all starts with one pitch. One single, nearly perfect weapon, his slider. And it's not just a good pitch, it is statistically one of the most unhittable pitches we have seen in a very long time. Just look at this. When a professional hitter, one of the best in the world at what they do, decides to swing at Mason Miller's slider, they come up with absolutely nothing, almost 80% of the time. We call that a whiff rate, and a number this high is, well, it's just ludicrous. They can't touch it. And this chart just says it all. It shows how far ahead of the pack he is. The gap in effectiveness between Miller's slider and the guy in second place is the exact same as the gap between second place and 11th. He's not just leading the league, he's in a completely different tier.
And get this quote really highlights how ridiculously efficient the pitch is. He's getting the same number of misses as another elite pitcher, but he's doing it in less than half the attempts. It is maximum damage with minimum effort.
Okay, so the slider is unhittable when they swing. We've established that. But here's the next layer of this whole puzzle. Miller is also getting a ton of called strikes, where batters just freeze and don't swing at all, getting tons of swings and misses and tons of frozen looks. You're not supposed to be able to do both.
I mean, think about it. He's #1 in the majors at making guys miss, but he's also in the top 10 at making them just take a strike. You add those together, and an unbelievable 57% of his pitches are a strike without the hitter ever making contact. The gap between him and second place in that stat isn't even funny.
And this table tells you exactly why. The hitters are completely totally lost. Look at the heart zone. That's right down the middle. They're taking pitches there way more than the league average. Now look at the chase and waste zones. These are the junk pitches way outside. They're swinging at those at more than double the average rate. It is pure, unfiltered guesswork up there. Okay, I really need you to let this fact sink in for a second. Even when hitters guess right, and they swing at a pitch that's actually a strike, they make contact less often than an average hitter makes contact with a ball in the dirt. It's just a total breakdown of a hitter's ability to even compete.
Now, for maybe the most backwards, counterintuitive part of this whole thing. You think a pitcher who strikes everyone out must be throwing a ton of pitches, right? Long, grinding at bats. But with Mason Miller, the exact opposite is happening.
The conventional wisdom has always been pretty simple. More strikeouts equals more pitches. But Miller is just shattering that idea. His dominance is so absolute that he's actually become one of the most efficient pitchers in baseball, ending at-bats almost before they even start.
3.9. That's it. That's the average number of pitches he's throwing to each batter he faces. And remember, a strikeout takes at least 3 pitches.
And here is the real kicker. That number is actually lower than it was last year when his strikeout rate was much more human. So he is striking out way more batters while somehow becoming more efficient. That just doesn't happen. He is so completely scrambling hitters' brains that the at-bats are just over in a flash.
So what does all this add up to? Well, it means we're not just watching some great pitcher having a good year. We are witnessing a rare, historic event, a true statistical anomaly that is happening in real time right in front of us.
I honestly can't think of a better way to describe it than this. It perfectly captures what it looks like to watch a professional hitter step into the box against Mason Miller right now. They just look completely helpless.
And that's the thing.
100 years of baseball data tells us that this can't last. Nobody can stay this dominant forever. The game always adjusts. And that's exactly what makes watching it, right now, so special. This is a limited time only show of absolute perfection.
So what's the big takeaway here? Well, first, you're literally seeing what pitching perfection looks like on a spreadsheet. Second, it's an amazing reminder that the limits we think exist in sports can always be pushed. And most importantly, this is an unbelievable live-action show that you should absolutely tune in and watch while you still can.
So it all leaves us with this one last fascinating question. In a game that is built on averages and numbers and things always coming back to earth, how long can one guy truly break the machine? We don't know the answer, but finding out is going to be amazing to watch.